So if you're a business owner with a really, really bad back IRS tax problem and you actually genuinely want to fix it, but you've been stuck trying to fix it, you have tried and gotten absolutely nowhere, and all that happens is every year the problem just gets worse. Why are you stuck in this situation despite your desire and intent to get this fixed? This is one of the most common roadblocks people run into, business owners run into when they have back tax problems. And there are some business owners who don't care and they're trying to dive under the radar. That does exist. Most people sincerely want to get it fixed. And I believe if you know why you've had trouble getting it fixed and you know what those roadblocks are, you can start to hone your resources and your time towards things that will actually help you. So I'm going to share with you the 3 top reasons people can't get this thing fixed. Number 1 is the problem is just so overwhelming you don't know where to start. If you're like most of my clients, you probably owe a minimum of high 5 figures, if not 6 figures or multiple 6 figures in back taxes. You probably haven't filed in a whole bunch of years. Oh, and the IRS might be running after you too. So if you're looking at that, you're like, I don't have books, I don't have my tax returns done, I just keep adding more problems every year. You're like, how in the world do I even fix this? Because the problem is so complex and has so many different parts, you don't even know where to start. That's really one of the biggest linchpins for people. Is it's just so big. People are trying to logically learn and figure it out, and they can't figure it out. The second reason, in all honesty, is that the resources that are available for business owners with back tax problems are minimal to non-existent. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to go on the IRS website to try to figure this out, well, you can't do that. What are you going to do? Read the Internal Revenue Code, Internal Revenue Manual, all the self-help stuff they have, like set up an online payment plan, works for people that owe like $20,000, $25,000 or less. You try to call them up. They're like, hey, pay us 150 grand in 30 days. We're going to start taking your stuff. And, all of that self-help stuff, like call the IRS on your own, is geared towards people with small problems who can easily resolve it. The other issue is the resources that are available to help you don't really know how to help you. So you might have called a local CPA, a local tax attorney, a local accountant, and most of these folks are well-intentioned and they're good at what they do, but what they don't do is back tax help. So you talk to them and they're like, well, I'm busy, call me back later. Call me back after tax season. Or maybe they do take your case on and they actually, after a number of months, just get nothing done and the problems gets worse because time goes by, or they actually proactively make it worse. So that's a resource that's not available. Or maybe you call like the 1-800 tax relief companies and you're talking to some slick salesman, and again, that stuff might work for people with small problems. Like if you're a W-2 employee who owe 25 grand, I'm sure a 1-800 tax relief firm could totally solve your problem. But if you're a business owner with 4 years of S-Corp unfiled returns, a big mess of bank statements, and oh, by the way, you owe the IRS $200,000, that's out of their wheelhouse. So that's the 3 reasons people get stuck, is they're just overwhelmed. Excuse me, I didn't even get into the third reasons. The first 2 reasons are they're overwhelmed and the resources really aren't there. The third reason is that the reason people that are business owners have tax problems is always tied into other issues in their life. So poor business management, poor financial management, poor tracking, poor profitability, poor cash flow analysis, poor management of all of those things. So if you're just a W-2 employee and like you owe the IRS 15 grand and you're like, I can't afford to pay it, your problem is simple. You don't have 15 grand. But if you're a business owner with this problem and it's so deep, it's not that you're broke, because how could you have even had such a bad problem in the first place if you were broke? It doesn't make any sense. Your problem is there's like 12 different problems going on in your business and your life, and you need to reconcile and fix each and every one of those things in order to truly fix the problem. So the solution to this is to find resources and help specifically designed for business owners. Like, I know it sounds obvious, but most people don't do that. They just go for like the generic stuff if they try to resolve it. And you need to work with someone and a resource that actually understands really big tax problems. Because without the exactly right solution, this is going to come back and bite you in the butt if you try to fix it. And all this stuff needs to be figured out, and you need to work with someone who understands at a deep level how this works. So that's your answer to the question, right? It's like you need to have a solution relative to where you are. So, I mean, if that is what you're looking for, then what I invite you to do is if you go above or below and click, or write me a DM, depending upon where you're seeing this, you can set up a appointment request with me. You'll be able to sit down with me personally, and I'll be able to analyze your situation and help propose a solution so you can finally get this thing out of your life. It's not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to make you do anything. Dude, it's your problem. It's your life. Do whatever the heck you want to do. But if you actually are genuinely in a place where you're ready to take action and you want some help, I could probably really shed a lot of light on your situation. So if that's you, I look forward to talking to you soon.